I just wanted somebody to say, you're pretty, rather than, oh, I'd like to bend you over in that dress. That doesn't exactly charm the pants off a gal. Let me tell you that right now, guys. It's like when somebody sends you dick pics. I don't know where you think you're going with that, but it's not going where you think it's going to go. Oh, I'm a little extra spicy today. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Madge Unmuted. I am your hostess, Madge Madigan. Welcome. Be so glad you're not in my house today because I am just a raging bitch right now. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with me. Well, I kind of am, but that's what we're going to get to today is things that grind your gears. And I think what grinds my gears is my identity. Okay, stay with me here if you can. I had a talk with a friend last week about what stuff that was bothering me. He specializes in neuroscience, my friend John. And it's really cool. It's about like stuff like rewiring your brain and how, your brain, how you think and your body acts like on a cellular level. Anyway, I will never do it justice explaining it. So anyway, some of the stuff that was bothering me is like, okay, I'll back it up. I've been gone for the past couple of weeks. That's why I wasn't able to get a podcast last week. And I told some of you, I think, on this podcast or in other videos, that I am moving to live temporarily with my kids in the New York City area. So that's just to say that like one week a month I'll be living in the New York City area. It may turn out to be more, it may turn out to be less. I don't know. I got some business going there and stuff, and I'm really excited about it. I've always wanted to live in that area. Plus, I want to be near my kids. My son's 32, the girls are 29, 27, and it's just, that time. So when I got down there, also I'm going to do like a loop every month of, from Buffalo over past Rochester to Fairhaven, where we own the bar, and then down to Stamford, Connecticut, and then back up to Fairhaven, and then back over here to Dunkirk. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm really excited about it. And I've made this big move, something I've always wanted to do my whole life. But I noticed when I got there, in like some quiet moments, I had some really bad anxiety. Like anxiety, like I felt like buyer's remorse. And I've had it before in my life, and I finally put a name to it. And oh my God, it's really fucking hot in this room right now. I'm upstairs in my kid's old room, my daughter's old room, and I had to turn off the AC because it blows really hard in here. Like a lot of things in my life blows really hard. Blows really hard, and it's really noisy, so I had to turn it down. So if you see me getting a little dewy, because it's a little hot in here. So I got kind of like anxious, and so I was talking to my friend about it, and he's like, well, it's fear, you think you've made this big move and you think it's just going to end how it's always ended for things you've tried in your life, is it's not going to go exactly according to plan, which he's not wrong. I have this thing that I've tried to overcome in my life, this attitude that I always have, that like, oh, well, it's not going to be any different. It's going to come out the same way it did every other fucking time. It's not going to turn out to be shit. So, but I'm trying not to do that. But I was trying to sit with it and figure it out. But there's a lot of components tied into it, and one of which is like identity. And so he kept having me peel back layers. Oh, look, it's sirens going down the street, as they often do here in the summertime. We're on the lake, unfortunately. Should happen sometimes. Oh, but also there's like a nursing home down the street. So a lot of times, somebody falls, breaks a hip. Anyway, so he's peeling back all these layers, and I'm realizing like it's my identity that feels bruised, or I'm afraid of trying. I'm afraid what's going to happen. I've tried all this other shit my whole life. Nothing. I don't know, a million different things. Also, it's really hot and I'm really fucking cranky. I think that's just like most of it. And this is tiring at 61 years old, all this moving around and going around. And today it came to a head. No, it didn't come to a head. It just became prolonged today. So I had just come back from here 2 days from my whirlwind tour 2 days ago, and I was trying to put my what is this thing, tripod stand together, and it wasn't working. Like I get on the phone with John, and now I'm sorry, John, I love you, but like he has, in our over 10 years together, he hasn't figured out how to communicate with me. I've made a concerted effort to figure out, and not just him. This isn't just about him. It's about the way I am. My whole life, I have made a concerted effort to, and back in the day, I think I was trying to conform to other people, but now I'm just trying to make it the best. I try and mold my behavior to best interact with other people. And I don't feel like anyone ever fucking does that for me. And I get it. I'm a bit much. I get it. I've even, like, my siblings have even told me, you're a bit much. My kids have told me, you're a bit much. I try and not be a bit much. Then there again is the whole me trying to change my shit, which I know I've been told 1,000 times, try not to, whatever. Don't change yourself for other people. Don't dim your light, yada, yada, yada. But in I'm in an effort to get along in this world. I like peace. I like calm. I know, contrary to popular belief, I like people just getting along. I just like the things to go smoothly. And so I'm always the one that's kind of changing. I don't know if that's because, like, I'm a Libra rising. I'm also a Gemini sun and a Scorpio moon, so I don't know. I got shit all over the place. But anyway, so I'm always trying to be, the what's the word? Diplomatic one, trying to make everything. But there's people that I can't recall anyone, especially close to me in my life, that really makes a concerted effort to handle me the way I need to be handled sometimes. Um, Sometimes John does, if I've, like, almost yelled at him about it, and it's just a guy thing. Like, I really need you to do this. When I got upset, don't yell back at me. Just be calm. It's like, because yelling back just escalates things or whatever. I don't. It's my identity that is constantly in flux to placate other people or in an effort to get along with other people. And I I've really tried not to care anymore. But there's sometimes, I'm not going to be a total asshole and, like, just not care what anybody thinks about how I act towards them. Or I don't want anyone, I'm not going to be a total asshole and just disregard other people's feelings all the time. This is not who I am. I try and make, things, for the most part, um, go swimmingly and peacefully. But I don't know. Tell me. Let me have it, viewers, audience. Let me have. Am I really that fucking difficult? Am I that difficult? You can tell me. I don't know. I may be a glutton for punishment here, but I try not to be. But I just don't feel like. And this is another one of the layers that we were talking about in this thing with my friend, that I've never felt understood. I've never felt understood. I've never felt like I've belonged. And I have adjusted myself to not care about that for the most part. But there's just times where I'm doing certain things and it's like I want to pull my hair out. Like, am I speaking a different language? Why is no one fucking understanding me? Why can't somebody just say, okay, instead of, you know, pressing their opinion on me or their viewpoint? Okay, so John self-admittedly likes to press buttons. It's just the way he has a twin brother. They're boys. They're competitive. They're retired military. They're pilots. They're ultra competitive. Very smart, and they just it's been competition since they were battling who's going to come out of the womb first. So he likes to do that. I can't stand to have my buttons pushed anymore, and we joke. I call it a time waster when he's like got to make a dig or a joke. But I think the other thing, and this is what I'm like really gestury today because I'm really upset. One of the things is talking about this identity. I find myself like I can be very sarcastic, very zinger. I'm quick with the quip and a little dig at somebody. Lighthearted. But I found myself being with major partnerships in my life, like three major long relationships I had in my life. The guys we're sarcastic and we do the little zings, but I found that, and this is on me, I guess, I know when to stop and they don't. And I guess I don't know if they were just zings or now if it was intentional and cruel and abusive. Um, so I don't think John is, but they like my ex-husband was just constantly digging at me, and whenever it was a compliment, it was like sexual in nature. And so there was never like a genuine compliment like you're a really beautiful person inside and out, or you're a really great mother, or you are so caring. I just love the way you look at the world. I don't know. Call me unrealistic, but I just wanted somebody to say, you're pretty rather than, oh, I like to bend you over in that dress. That doesn't exactly charm the pants off a gal. Let me tell you that right now, guys. You know, it's like when somebody sends you dick pics. I don't know where you think you're going with that, but it's not going where you think it's going to go. I don't know any girl, woman, female that I mean that there could be, but for the most part, anybody who gets an unsolicited dick pic, I don't. Oh wow, let me have some of that. Yeah, come over. I mean, unless you're just really you haven't had it in a long time and you are feeling raunchy and whatever. Okay, we've all had those times in our lives. After I got divorced. Shh, don't tell me. No, but I never did that. So anyway, I'm getting really sensitive about people digging at me. People close to me digging at me and pushing my buttons and not making a concerted effort. Some of my kids, I will give them. They um, have have made a big effort to try and deal with mom in certain ways, and that's lovely because I don't know that I did that at their age. I mean, yeah, I did. I remember as I got older, I tried to be patient with mom and dad, come in and because we all want to react to our parents the same way we did as a 6-year-old. Mom, you're just doing that to make me mad. No, that's not. It's because we love you and we didn't want you to fucking rip your arm off or some shit, poke an eye out. So they try and do that, but some other people don't, and they get snippy with me, and I find that two things. I feel incredibly misunderstood a lot, and it gets me incredibly frustrated when when I feel misunderstood. And I think I've tied it into my intelligence. Hear me out. I know. I didn't think it made any sense either, but now, it's like if I don't get my point across, that person thinks I'm stupid. Or if they're not buying into my uh point, they think I'm stupid. There are people that will be like that. They'll be condescending and dismissive. And that is such a pet peeve of mine. And that, I don't know where that came from, but we all have that stuff, that it came from somewhere. I think being dismissive toward me. Oh, here was the other interesting thing that my friend John said is that the things that he tried to get at what my fear is, and I wish I had recorded this session because I can't remember half the shit that we said now that I need to work on. But he said your fear goes back to feeling safe, and you learn safety or trust or whatever is 0 to 3 months. So I don't know, I forget how it ties in. I'll have to have him. So and I think I probably, being the youngest of six, I think I felt unsafe and neglected, whatever, yada yada. And I just don't think people, I think I've always been dismissed. Like, even as the youngest, like, oh, she's just a baby. She doesn't know anything. You're the youngest. You don't know anything. You're a woman. You're a girl. You don't know anything. Oh, that's a whole nother episode. Should we talk about that, ladies of a certain age? Our whole lives. And if one fucking man tries to tell me no, it doesn't happen, I swear to God, I'm coming through this screen and I'm going to wring your neck. Not really, allegedly, so I don't get in any trouble. But anyway, you're little. What do you know? You're a woman. What do you know? You're young. What do you know? It's always this, and I get so frustrated at this point in my life that I feel confident about. Am I smart? Yeah. Do I know everything? No, but I'm pretty fucking smart. Do I know a lot of things? Yeah. Do I know a lot of things about what I do? Yeah. Do I have a lot of experience? Yeah. So when I try and tell you something and you're like, well, no, but that fucking grinds my gears because you're immediately dismissing anything that I have to say. Don't ever do that to people. Like, I don't know why you would. Everybody has something to say. Whether you think it's incredibly fucking stupid or not is up to you as to what that person means to you. If they mean a lot to you, maybe don't say that's really fucking stupid. You know, I don't know. There's a place and time for everything, but if you're really trying to care for someone else and make sure that you care for their feelings and everything, don't be dismissive. Especially, I don't know how much I want to say about this. I've worked in places in my life where I've had years and years and years and I've had numerous jobs like this. I've had years and years of experience. I've told the person, look, in my experience, I would give facts up the wazoo. Here's what you need to do. You've got this, you got this, you got this. We're bringing in X amount, the cost of this, we got this. This is the facts. In my experience, this is what I think we should do. And that person, usually a man, but I'm not saying all men are bad, but over the years, most of my bosses have been men because it's that time period. And then, once in a while it's a woman, but if it's a woman boss, she's usually incredibly type A, narcissistic, and dismissive, and she knows better than everybody. So it's like, don't just go, yeah, well, no, that's not. At least give me the fucking common courtesy to say, you know what? You have a point, and I can see that. Okay, let's take that. Let's take that into consideration. My thought was maybe this. I don't know. What do you think about that? And that's how we discuss things. That's how we discuss things, people. You don't go, no, that won't work. Fuck you. And you're that, yeah, that won't work. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And therein lies my identity being tied in to my intelligence, or my people thinking I have lack thereof, or lack whatever. I don't know. I could go like, ooh, I don't want to say that. I could go very deep into this whole thing, but on what different things mean. And but anyway, that's just what was bothering me this week, that I can't stand it when people want to insult you. Insulting my intelligence is another thing, but yeah, that bothers me too. But when somebody thinks I'm stupid, or thinks that I don't have anything valid to say, maybe I jump to conclusions that you are saying that I don't have anything valid to say. But when you're pretty blatant about it, again, I'm not stupid. I can kind of see that you do think I'm stupid. Oh, God damn it. That's just what's eating at me this week. See, that's what I should never like go. What I should never record this podcast when something has just pissed me off, because it doesn't end up fun. I got some fun stuff coming up. I'm going to start doing my podcasts in different places. I'm going to be recording it in New York. I've met some new people down there, and I'm going to be sometimes getting some guests down there. I don't know if I'm going to have guests here. I'll maybe have some guests in Fairhaven. I'll do it on my own. I'll do it whatever. I don't know. Stay tuned and see what the hell comes next, because I don't even know. I'm 61, and I'll see what I just, like, pull out of thin air next. I was going to say something more graphic and disgusting, but, I won't. So I'm just, this is a work in progress, and I can't wait to see what comes next. And hopefully it's nothing that pisses me off, unless, of course, you find that entertaining. Anyway, I'm Madge. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Please like, subscribe, share, review, reuse, recycle. It really helps me if you send a friend over to watch, and not over to my house, like just over to my site here to watch, because that's fun. And I hope that you join us on the next episode of Madge Unmuted. Next week's episode will be coming to you direct from New York City. So please join me then. And thanks again. We'll see you next week on the next Madge Unmuted. Bye.